I'm just making sure everything is alive and kicking, that we are live, and we are rocking and rolling here. I always give it about 30 seconds here just to make sure that we are good to rock and roll. Oh, we need to do product. R&B Auto Detailing. What's up? How are you? How are you today? We doing well? Goodness, it really seems like there's a pretty good delay. Don't know what's going on with that. So apologies for anybody that's here on TikTok live because there seems to be a fair amount of delay we're working with today. I wonder if it's due to the cold weather. Anyway, we're about a minute in. I think everything is running smoothly, running well. Let me double check one more thing here. Yep, looks like we are live there. What's going on? What's going on? Bodie, Marcy, what's happening? How are you today? Cambria, what's going on? Hopefully everybody's doing well. Phoenix Rips, Tina. See, it always takes a good minute to 90 seconds for anybody to... RRL 1967, what's up? Phoenix Rips. I like that. Phoenix Rips. TikTok fam. How you doing? Yo. RRL 1967. It's good to see you. Thanks for commenting. I appreciate it. Anna. Well, we are live. We are rocking and rolling. Jeffrey, what's going on? Ben with the W. Did you get a W today, Ben? Jeffrey the gent. I like it. Jeffrey, how are you doing today, sir? Marcy, Kristen. Thanks everybody for joining. I appreciate you. Looks like we got a little bit of a delay, so I do apologize. Our audio and video for whatever reason. Jeffrey the gent. Uh-oh. Are you here from another planet? Thumbs up. I love it. I love it. Well, we're here live. It's been a minute. Last time I was on was about a week ago, actually, which is kind of out of what I would like to happen. Judy, what's going on? Last week was a busy one. It was hectic. There's a lot going on. We had just a busy week personally, and Valentine's Day. Yours truly had a birthday, but we're going to get going. We're going to get rock and rolling. We're live here. Thank you for being here with me live. I do appreciate it. If you are here either on TikTok or on YouTube, because we are live on both channels currently, appreciate you coming in and watching this live. If for some reason you're not able to stick around for the entire time, I'll probably be on for about an hour. But if you're not able to stick around, I do cross post these onto YouTube and on podcast platforms as well, wherever you get your podcast from or wherever you listen, whether that's Spotify, Apple, Amazon, all that good stuff. And if you are not listening live and you are catching this on the replay, I appreciate you just as much as everybody here live. I do appreciate it. Travis T, what's going on? But yeah, like I was saying, it's been a minute here. We only did one live last week, and I'm trying to be better about doing multiple lives, hang out with you guys. But I'm excited to be here today. I really am. One, because it has been a while, but two, I'll be honest, it took me a little bit to jump on today. Some things started to, we got nobody on. Some things kind of Taylor Brand. Some things, I'm excited to be here today because some things tried to creep in and try and keep me from jumping on and coming here hanging out with you guys. But I am excited to be here. We get to talk a little bit of mindset stuff. Monty, what's up? How are you? But yeah, so we can just dive into it. I came across one thing I wanted to talk about today was I came across a letter from Jeff Bezos. He does, or used to, I don't know if he still does because this dates back to 2020 and 2021, but he does a letter to shareholders. And this was his last letter as the CEO. He now is, what do they call that? The chairman head or something like that, but he actually stepped down as the CEO 2020, 2021, somewhere around in that, late 21. However, I really enjoyed this passage that he shared in his letter. And I wanted to share it with you guys and then talk about it and how it pertains, why it hit me so much. Omar, what's going on? And what the impact of it is in my thinking as well. RRL, Monty, Ted Joyce, what's going on? Appreciate you being here. So I'm going to read this to you, read the passage, and just read a little bit about it, and then we'll dive into it and we'll talk about it. Angel, what's going on? How are you? Appreciate you coming and hanging out. So it starts out with this section is differentiation is survival, and the universe wants you to be typical. Said, here's a passage from Richard Dawkins, an extraordinary book called The Blind Watchmaker. I've actually never read that book, but every time a new book comes across my eyeballs into my brain, I always want to check it out. So that's one I'll be putting on the list, at least to check out. So he goes on to share this. Staving off death is a thing that you have to work at, left to itself, and that it is what it is when it dies. The body tends to revert to a state of equilibrium with its environment. If you measure some quantities, such as the temperature, the acidity, the water content, or the electrical potential in a living body, you will typically find that it is markedly different from the corresponding measure in the surroundings. Our bodies, for instance, are usually hotter than our surroundings, and in cold climates, they have to work hard to maintain the differential. When we die, the work stops. The temperature differential starts to disappear, and we end up the same temperature as our surroundings. Not all animals work so hard to avoid coming into equilibrium with their surrounding temperature, but all animals do some comparable work. For instance, in a dry country, animals and plants work to maintain the fluid content of their cells, work against a natural tendency for water to flow from them into the dry outside world. If they fail, they die. More generally, if living things didn't work actively to prevent it, they would eventually merge into their surroundings and cease to exist as an autonomous being. That is what happens when they die. Beverly, what's going on? So he goes on to say that while this passage is not intended as a metaphor, it's a fantastic one. And I couldn't agree. And actually, when I read this initially, I wasn't thinking mindset. But then as I read it, it says differentiation is survival, and the universe wants you to be typical. So speaking in that specifically, differentiation. So your brain, we've talked about this in the past. Your brain is programmed to keep you comfortable. It is programmed to keep you safe. So it wants you to be typical, right? It wants you to be comfortable. And so it will help you to try and search out or create an environment where you can easily coincide with it. But we've got to push against that, because that is when we get into the place of contentment and complacency. And that's being typical. Rory, what's going on? How are you, Rory? Join from short videos. Oh, that's fun. Appreciate you being here. Rory reports. So our mindset, our brain wants us to be typical, just like it's talking about survival. We want to be typical. We want to coincide and exist within our own environment, right? But our bodies are continuously working towards not being that way. The example that they used was temperature, right? Our temperature. Who have XRP? I don't know what XRP is. Who have XRP? I don't know what that is. I'm sorry, Rory. Maybe divulge a little bit more. Appreciate that. Rod Rhodes, what's going on? So this passage talks about how our bodies are continuously working to be different than our environment, temperature, our water level, acidity, all that. And the mindset is the same way. We have to continuously work at it. I did this video the other day too, where I posted about how your mindset, your brain is just like any muscle in your body, that if you don't want it to disappear, if you want to be stronger, if you want to work, you've got to continuously work at it, right? We can't just sit back and expect, like, we can't just sit there and think, oh, we want our muscles to get bigger. We want this. You actually have to take action and work towards that. And the mindset is the same way, right? You have to continuously work at it. And it's not one of those things that once you achieve a strong mindset, let's say, you just have it for eternity. We'll use that word. The other one's hard for me to say, I'll be honest. we have to continuously work at it, right? And you're going to have some days that are good and some days that are bad, but you can generally have a strong mindset. However, you're going to still have to continuously work at it. You don't just get it. You don't flip on a switch and say, I've got it, and then it's there forever. It's a continuous thing, just like our body, right? From a nutrition and a physical level. You can't just go have a diet or have a plan or go on a diet for a short amount of time and then get off of that diet and just expect your body to be healthy the entire time. No, you have to continuously feed your body, feed your mind good things, good nutrition for it to sustain. So I just wanted to share that with you guys because I thought that was pretty powerful. Just in speaking that just in our physical life, but also in the mindset and then the mental side of things. He goes on to talk about how there's a couple that the husband and wife, they have kind of an inside joke that says, can't you just be normal? And that's the thing, is you don't want to just be normal, right? I mean, if you want anything extraordinary in life, you really do have to be different. That's one thing that I talk to my boys quite a bit about is, just be you and be happy with who you are. Be different. Sometimes they'll come out like from a very young age, we let them dress themselves. I mean, I think that's a pretty normal thing. I'm not saying that that's extraordinary. And maybe not to the extreme level of, what's the Adam Sandler movie? Big Daddy. But, where he comes out wearing all sorts. But that's the point, is like, if you're comfortable in what you're wearing, you're comfortable in the way you look, then be comfortable and be extraordinary, be different. That's the important part. RRL 1967. It looks like you keep on popping in and out. That's interesting. Wonder what's going on there. This is another thing that I have been toying with a little bit, is the time of day that we go live. Heather, what's going on? And I think the middle of the day, well, it's middle of the day for me here. So whatever, if it's morning, afternoon, evening for you, wherever you're at, it just depends on the time of day when I seem to see more engagement. Hey, Heather. Hello. How are you? What are you up to today, Heather? RRL, what are you doing? What are you up to today? What's everybody up to today? Working. Yep. Same. Aren't we all working? Working. Everybody's working. Everybody's working. Good. I mean, that's good, right? We got to work towards that. That's actually one of the things in the mindset journal, is the I in the mindset, that's income producing activities, right? So whether it's working, either at a job, for somebody else, for yourself in a business, whatever it is, we're all working. We're trying to make that money, right? You got to make that money. Well, fake working, listening to you. I appreciate that. Oh, that's good. I like that one. Well, make sure you can get some work done. Let's not piss off the boss too much, right? Let's make sure we're working a little bit, maybe. So what do you guys want to learn about? What do you want to talk about? Anything in particular? Or just general mindset well-being? Sorry, I'm just seeing some other comments here, so I apologize if there's a little bit of V-Lou. What's going on? We got people popping in and out. But yeah, so we're one of the things too that I talk about, that I try to push a lot, and this goes for myself as well, is challenging ourselves and getting ourselves outside of that comfort zone, right? I say right a lot, so that's something I should probably work on, challenge myself, get better at. But one of those things is going live more often. And more importantly, be consistent with when I'm going live and when I'm posting content and all that. And that is a challenge for myself. In fact, today, I'm super excited to be here. I said this earlier, but I'm super excited to be here with you guys. Angel, what's going on? Because there was a couple times this morning before we did go on where I was like, nah, you know what? Not today. I got to do this. I got this on my list. But instead I said, you know what? No, you need to do what you say you're going to do. That is one of the things that I have in my mindset growth tasks right now, that currently, and it's in there quite often, is just simply show up and do what you say you're going to do. In a post that I did recently where I talk about that's how you gain the confidence. That's how you gain the trust in yourself. And then that trust in yourself does build the confidence, right? Right. I love it. RRL 1967. So that's what I'm doing is I said, actually, in fact, I'll be honest with you guys, a little behind the scenes. I was going to go live yesterday because I do this thing called the 4M or the quad M. I don't know what the name of it is. Basically, what it is, it's the Monday morning mindset meeting. And it's basically my team meeting I have with myself where I go over the week. And last week I did that and it was pretty popular. We had a lot of people. It was earlier in the morning, so I think more people were able to jump on and be a part of it. But I was going to do that yesterday, and then I got derailed and I got away from it. And that kind of stuck with me because I said I was going to do it and then I didn't do it, which is fine. It happens, right? Nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes. But remember, it's not the mistakes that define you, it's what you do next. So, what did I do next? I said, you know what? I'm going to go live because originally I had said that I wanted to go live Tuesdays and Thursdays. Well, it's Tuesday. For those that are watching on a different day of the week, guess what? Behind the velvet rope, it's Tuesday. But we are here. So that's what I did. I showed up. I'm here hanging out with you guys. We kind of got some people coming in and out. So this is fantastic. But I really found that interesting, the passage from The Blind Watchmaker by Richard Dawkins. And again, it comes back to staving off death is a thing that you have to work at. Building your mindset is a thing you have to work at. You have to continuously work at it. Just like feeding our body and our soul, you have to continuously work at it. And I mean, I would say that feeding your mind is probably the number one priority. Now, a great way to feed your mind to build a strong mindset is by doing physical activity and taking care of your body from a nutrition standpoint, 100%. But I think the mind is number one because everything starts in the mind. Everything you do, every decision you make, every movement your body makes, it all starts in the mind. And that's why it's number one. Now, the body in the temple, like the T in mindset stands for, is temple. That's your body. Your body definitely is a close second, but a very slight second. So maybe it's like a 1A, 1B priority, but there's three priorities, three main pillars that your mindset is built on, right? And that's your mind, body, and soul. So we've got to feed our mind. We've got to continuously work at it. And then there's the body as well. We've got to continuously work at building the body and the soul. The soul's an important one too. And we talked a lot about that on the last podcast or the last video. Excuse me. RRL 1967. Looks like you're in and out. Maybe the boss came in. Maybe the boss said, hey, maybe you shouldn't be on right now. Now, this is interesting. This will be a good test to see if this time of day works really well. We'll see who we can get on. I wonder who else is live right now. I wonder if we could get anybody else in here. Oh, there we go. We got some lives. Some of our friends. That's fun. See if we got any other comments, any other things. Trap house audio. I wonder what trap house audio is. Oh, I wonder if that's like trap music. Oh, that's not trap. So yeah, maybe we just talk about mindset a little bit, huh? A little bit more about it. One of the things that I am working on too is shifting my own mindset right now as well. Cause it's, like I said, it's something that I continuously work on. I've said this in a lot of videos. I don't just teach and preach this. Like I live it. Like this is everything that I talk about comes from my own life experience. And one of the things that I'm trying to do a mindset shift within myself is I'm trying to shift from, I feel like over the past, I don't know, quite a few weeks, handful of weeks, I have been very home with Carly. What up, girl? I have been very 80% planning, 20% execute. And I'm working on shifting that into a 20% plan, 80% execute, because we always need time to evaluate, to reflect. That's what the E is in mindset. Oh, it's tough to do this backwards. Mindset. So that's evaluate. So we need to take time to reflect and critically think about things and then plan for the future. But just like the 80-20 rule, right? 80% of production comes with 20% of action. And that's what I'm really trying to get to. Hey, I love it, Carly. Thanks for being here. Yeah, I know I was talking about this earlier, but I've been quite sporadic in my lives. And so I need to be better about that. And I keep saying this, and that's one area that I can definitely work on to be better, is be more consistent on my lives. I'm trying to figure out what works best with my schedule as well. And that's the other thing too, is just committing to those, right? Because I know that's a challenge sometimes, especially when we're doing new things. These lives are new, so it's tough to commit to them. It's a challenge to commit to them, is what I should say. You know what I mean? So that's one area that I could definitely be better about. So like we were talking about, is I'm working on trying to shift that 80-20 to 20-80, 80% planning, 20% execution, to 20% planning, 80% execution, because I really got to get things kicked off. I could sit there and plan with the best of them, but execution and action is where you see the progress. And thanks, Home with Carly. I didn't see when you sent that. If anybody is on here live and listening, if you go check out Home with Carly, she's fantastic. She's been on, I met her through a good friend of mine, Trapper, and you'll see him on, or I'll talk about him quite a bit. Sometimes he'll be on lives with me as well. That's how I met her. She's awesome. Go check her stuff out. Obvious as always, and obviously there's no obligation to follow. I encourage people to follow other people because that's how you support other people, right? But we also don't want it to mess with the algorithm. There's that word, the algorithm. That's a scary thing. Oh, my man Trap, he was talking about me earlier. Yeah, we talk about each other a lot. We've been in each other's lives. So here's something fun. So if you're listening to this live right now, or later on in the future when I do my replay, his podcast. So we did a live the other day, 2 weeks ago. We did a podcast, not a podcast, but we did a TikTok live, and I'm posting that on YouTube and as a podcast here coming up later this week. So that'll be fun for everybody to check out. So any fans of Trapper that are here watching me live or watching this later, you can go back and watch that one too. That'll be super fun. Just making sure we're not missing any comments. Yeah, that's the plan, Carly. We are going to definitely do a lot more together. He and I are definitely on similar paths as far as what we're trying to build and accomplish, and we're really working on trying to do that together. I think both of us have really come in to realize that one of our main, I don't want to speak for him, but one of our main purposes in life is to be in service of others, and we truly genuinely want to help each other and help others. So hey, Neuter 069, what's up? New TER, welcome. You're somebody new. I haven't seen you on, but yeah. So Carly, we're looking to really do quite a bit more together. He's kind of busy, hectic, working on some things. I am too. Oh, thanks for the follow. I don't know who gave me a follow, but that was awesome. But yeah, so we are definitely going to do more together for sure. That is the plan. Oh, thank you, Neuter. I appreciate the little heart. I don't know. I wonder if did it show up? Did I just miss it? Was I just looking at the camera? Because see, I'm on TikTok Studio Live over here on the computer. And so I got to look at you guys through the camera. Yeah, we'll definitely do more. And definitely come on and check out some of the other ones. There's a lot of good people and that I'm going to have on my crown. Oh, it didn't come through. I don't know why. Maybe it's not showing up on here. But thank you for the crown. I appreciate that. I don't know how to get those to show up on my screen. Maybe they're showing up on your screen. I'm not really sure. But there's a lot of good people. So for instance, the one that will post tomorrow, the podcast and the YouTube, is with a good friend of mine. His name is Derek Faber, another great individual. I met him, man, about 5 years ago now, and working, got to go. Hey, I appreciate you stopping in here though, Neuter. I love it. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate you. Come back and check us out another time. For sure. Oh, Neuter, real quick. Disabled veteran, I want to say thank you for our freedom, my friend. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I'm giving you a follow. Thank you. Salvador Martinez Tono. Did I butcher that? What's going on, man? Salvador. What's going on? How are you? Dad times 3, blue collar, enjoying life. I love it. I always got to check out everybody's profile and stuff to see if I know you, if not, where you're from, if I follow you, all that good stuff. So yeah, I don't know that I have continue to have a really good theme for this live today. Yeah, absolutely, Salvador. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you being here. But for those that are new, we did read a passage from Richard Dawkins' The Blind Watchmaker. It's a book that I have not read. We're going to get to that. If you stick around for a little bit, I've got some announcements that would kind of be fun, and we'll get to that in a minute. However, there's a passage about that where it's talking about how our body tends to revert to a state of equilibrium, or it's at least trying to equalize with when we die, right? It equalizes with their environment, and your body is continuously working to be different. Differentiation is survival. And although the passage wasn't typically meant for a metaphor, it actually turns out to be a pretty good metaphor about life and about mindset. How you have to continuously work for it. Like our body is continuously trying to maintain a temperature. Whatever environment you are in, whether it's a cold environment or hot environment, your body is in a constant fight, a constant battle to be different than your environment, right? And so we have to do that. We have to do that, follow that same principle with our mindset, our body, and our soul, is we have to continuously work towards being different, because our brain wants us to be normal. Our brain wants us to be comfortable, to be typical. But if you want extraordinary things out of life, you can't be typical. You can't be normal. You can't be content, and you can't be complacent. Now, that doesn't mean to say that you can't be happy with where you're at. Like I'm happy with my life in general. I love my wife. I love my kids, my family. What I'm working towards, my passion, my goals, my why. But it doesn't mean that I'm just complacent and I'm just going to sit on my laurels and just let life happen. No, I'm going to, and this is what I try to inspire other people to do as well, and help them work towards it with building a strong mindset. Is we can still, even if we're happy, we can still aspire for more, right? We can still strive for more. And not more in the sense of things. I'm not big on things. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like tech. I like gear, and the hobbies that I'm involved in. But it's more of like, since I have gone down this journey of this self-improvement, learning about the mindset, I really just want to find fulfillment in helping people. 5 or 6 years ago, when really the mindset thing when it showed its true face and came out and kind of slapped me in the face, really, because I guess to give you a little bit of a background here for any of those, I appreciate it, Salvador. Give a little bit of background here for where kind of the mindset coaching thing came about. Was I've always considered myself to be a student of human nature. To better understand what people do, why people do it, so I can understand why I do things, what are my driving forces, my inspirations, and why I do things, right? And understand the world around me. But about 5 or 6 years ago, I kind of had this epiphany, and I started doing a lot more reading, a lot more trying to work on myself, and I realized that everything boils down to mindset. Like if you go through and read. Now, granted, I have read a lot of like self-help books, but also a lot of business books and finance books and And even some of the fiction that I've read, when you look at the characters or look at the, antagonist, protagonist, whatever, whichever one. I wasn't a scholar, English scholar, so forgive me if I get those wrong. But you boil it all down, and you can take and boil all those books and everything down to is a mindset. Everything starts with the mind. And if you can figure out how to have a strong mindset and control your mind, things are going to happen for you that you never really understood or realized could. Now, that being said, too, is some of that building a strong mindset is actually believing that you are capable of those things. Gritty, what's going on, Gritty? It's been a minute, man. It's good to see you. Love to see you here. So that's one of the things that I really strive to do is my tagline, my goal, my purpose, my why in life is to ignite your self-confidence so that you can create a better future. Because it's not my future, right? Like I can help guide you along that path and give you the tools and things that have helped me, but I don't know truly what you want your future to be, what you want your life to be. And I can't make those happen for you. You've got to be able to make them happen for yourself. And that's one thing I realized early on was this is going to sound terrible, but nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to pull you out of that hole and keep you out of that hole. You might have people pick you up throughout your life. 100%. I'm not saying that I've done this 100% on my own. Absolutely not. There are people that have come and picked me up when I was down and vice versa. But at the end of the day, it is your actions. It's you that determine your future. Your decisions determine your future. You can't control everything around you, right? But you can control how you react to it. You can control the decisions that you make. And that's what is kind of all based around the mindset is you have control. You already possess. This is in my mindset journal, which we're having volume number 2 will be ready. I've committed to this in my last live March 1st. So, and I will put a blast out to let everybody know when that is available. But I've got revisions, so I'm going to cover something up real quick, but we're going to show you anyway. So at the very front of it, page number 1. And I believe it wholeheartedly, 100%. I wouldn't have put it in my mindset journal if I didn't. Create more content than I consume philosophy. Absolutely, Gritty. Still got to support the homies though. Yeah, 100%. And that's so Gritty. Going to that is one of my favorite sayings, favorite sayings, and it's famous. A rising tide raises all ships, right? And that's just a community thing. We talk about that a lot here about cultivating your circle and surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals, people that you can support, that can support you, that can pick you up, that you can pick up, that sort of thing. But getting back to it. So in the mindset journal, page number 1, it says you already possess the tool to have the life that you desire. And you do. It's right here. It's right here. Then it goes on. Your mindset is the master key. It will unlock the door, but it's up to you to determine what's on the other side. And that's what it's all about, right? As Jocko Willink says, extreme ownership. You got to have ownership. You got to take ownership and responsibility for your life. In fact, in my mindset journal, I try not to give a whole lot just because it's personal. But so in my mindset growth tasks, take ownership. Take ownership. That is one of the things that I continuously put on there to remind myself to take ownership. Take ownership of your life. And how do I do that? And how do I instruct my clients to do that? Do it with your mindset journal. That's probably the simplest way. Is take ownership of your life. It's the E, it's the evaluate. Take time every day, and it doesn't have to be a lot of time, but take time every day to sit back, reflect on the past day about where you've been, what you've done, what you've done well, what you haven't, what you can improve on, all that. And then take time to think about it, and then take time to plan for the next day. And that's taking ownership of your life. That's another great saying that I love. And this goes back to even my past 25 years, 24 years, 20 plus years, we'll say, of my other career of a mechanical industrial designer. Oh, absolutely, Carly. I'm glad that resonated with you. But one of my, I was a designer, right? I am a designer, I should say. And one of the things that I've always had in the back of my head that really led into this mindset thing too was live your life by design, not by default. We can, and I have been there. I still do this at times. I let life happen. And sometimes you just have to let life happen because you can't control everything, right? But instead of just being reactionary to it, let's be proactive. Now, that's not going to be the case 100% of the time. We talk about all the time, control the controllables. You can't control everything around you, but you can control how you react to it. But live your life by design, not by default. And I lived my life, so much of my life, I lived it by default. And even by default, I mean, it doesn't mean that I wasn't working hard towards something. Jody Banks, what's up? It doesn't mean that I was just sitting back, but I maybe wasn't living up to what my true why should have been. I was more living the life that I thought society wanted me to. And I think that, I don't know, maybe that's true for a lot of us, but that was more living by default. I wasn't taking complete control of my life. Jock Bet, what's up? Well, that's a fun name. Jock Bet Biltat 54. Jock Bet, what's going on? That's a new one. But yeah, so we've got to live our life by design, not by default. Go out there and figure out. I mean, first of all, you have to, this kind of goes to goal setting, right? But first of all, you have to figure out what you want out of life and what you truly want out of life, not necessarily what society may tell you you should want out of life. What's that saying? Keeping up with the Joneses. So that's a funny thing. Side note, that's my wife's maiden name. So it's kind of funny that keeping up with the Joneses. Sorry, I kind of lost that. Manda Lee. What's up, Manda Lee? How are you? So here's something. We've got some new people in here. I'd like to know, Carly, I know where you found me. Gritty, I know where you found me. RRL 1967, you've been here all day. Well, the last 37 minutes. Where did you find me? I'm curious. Jockbet, Manda, where did you guys find me? I am doing fantastic today because I'm here with you guys, Manda. And that's not just blowing smoke. Like, I'll be honest. Earlier this morning, and I talked about this earlier in the show. Earlier this morning, I was like, I really want to get on. There's other things. There's other work that I could be doing, and not work like real work, but there's other things. True Flow. Oh, dude, True Flow guys, man, those guys are awesome. Caleb and Jake, right? Jake and I won't said Caleb and Jacob because it just seems that, yeah, Caleb and Jake, they're super cool. I'm excited to do some stuff with them. Hopefully we can collab. I think that's the thing, but they seem like genuine guys. So anybody that's here, we should get them on. Are they live right now, Amanda? Do you know? If they were live, we should get them on. I went onto their live last week, and so that was super fun. Super cool guys. But we had talked a little bit, and we want to maybe do some collabs. Anyway, we got off topic, but that's good. That's what it should be, right? Is I can just talk and I can BS all day long. But if you guys interact, then we can actually talk about. So, well, yeah, what questions do you guys have? I mean, I'd like to know also, like, where Jockbet, where did you find me? I'm curious. Karina 38, what's going on? So it'd be nice to kind of know where you guys find me. Also, if you are here and you've liked the content or you've seen some of my videos and you got questions about mindset, or if you just want to listen to me ramble, I mean, we can do that too, but it's also fun when you guys engage. And it makes, Gritty, hey, I appreciate you coming and hanging out on lunch break. Gritty, drop me a DM. Let me know what times work best for you. I'm taking suggestions and at least finding out from like followers, especially the followers that are consistent followers. I'm definitely taking some suggestions on better times for lives. So let me know, Gritty. I appreciate you. You're always, thanks, man. Yeah. Hey, and get back to work hard. I love it. Hopefully lunch was good. Thanks for being here. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, Amanda, home with Carly. Anything you guys want to know about? A typical day. Oh, this will be fun. A typical day. So Carly asked, what does a typical day look like for you? So it depends on the day. And what I mean by that is my day is kind of based around a few things. One, we've talked about it before, is your priority list, right? You should take care of yourself, your spouse, your kids, or whatever you have in your life, yourself, next. Okay. So a typical day for me, I wake up pretty early. Um, Nick Frankenstein, what's going on, Nick? How are you? Glad to see you here. So I wake up pretty early. I try to hit the gym between 5 and 5:15, at least no later than 5:15, and there's a reason for that. So I'm borrowing this from somebody, but they always said anything after a certain time is not guaranteed. So for me, anything after 6:30 a.m. is not guaranteed in my life. And what I mean by that is anything before that is time just for me. Family's still sleeping. They haven't woke up to start their day yet. And so that's my time. So that's the time when I come down, I hit the gym, I get a workout in, and just kind of spend some time with myself. I kick my butt first thing, because the way that I feel is like if you work out first thing in the morning and you make it really, really hard and you challenge yourself, then the rest of the day, whatever challenge comes your way, you can take on because you've already done something hard for that day. And that's part of the thing of like the D in mindset is determination, grit, discipline. Do hard things, don't quit. So at 6:30 in, the family starts waking up. I help get the boys ready, get them out the door. And then I head back to the office, which is here in the office. And then it depends on, what I've got going for that day. Sometimes I have clients that I've got to meet with, or because I'm still a mechanical industrial designer. So I've got client drawings or designs that I need to work on. Sometimes I'll go live, I'll shoot some videos, and that lasts for anywhere from 6 to 8 hours. And then in the afternoon, and then this is where life really gets crazy, is the afternoons, because depending on what boys activities we have or family activities, my wife is also very busy in her work and in her businesses as well. So depending on the day, I'm either picking up boys and taking them to sports or taking them to other activities, or I am running errands or doing that. But most of the time it's chasing the kiddos around, or even coaching myself. So yes, I'm a mindset coach. I'm also a sports and performance coach. So I do coach my boys' sports teams. And so that's a big important thing with my life as well. And you can ask all of my athletes, I preach and teach the mindset thing too when it comes to sports and athletics as well. So that is kind of a high level of what my day entails. And it changes from day to day, right? Most of the time, though, it's pretty typical. My morning routine is pretty much the same. I eat the same thing for breakfast. I try to eat the same snacks, the same lunches, and I do that for simplicity. But then the evenings is really where a lot of differentiation comes in, right? But we have to find that time. Speaking on that, we do have to find that time to take care of ourselves. Because I'm a firm believer that you can't take care of everybody else if you can't show up for yourself. And so that's why I do that. That's why I get up early. That's why I challenge myself early in the morning, so that, like I said earlier, so that you can, whatever life brings you, you can hopefully handle it. Take it on. It makes you, it's like the analogy that I used in a previous video in a previous live was, walking into the gym, first day number 1, and you've got you pick up a 30-pound dumbbell and oh my gosh, it's heavy. But then after, 30, 60, 90, 120, whatever, 6 months, a year, whatever that time frame is, and you go pick up that same 30-pound dumbbell, the dumbbell isn't lighter. It seems easier to lift, but the dumbbell isn't lighter. It's just you got stronger, right? So that's why we got to work on ourselves and we got to do hard things and don't quit, because then when life does throw you the chaos, I call that, so I should finish our thought. God, my brain is all over the place. But that's why we got to do hard things and don't quit, and do it early. Yeah, 100%. And so I had this conversation. I don't think I posted this video yet, but I had the conversation with my oldest the other day, and he's like, "But dad, you're always awake so early. You just must love it. You love getting up early." I'm like, yeah, to a certain extent, right? Like, if I had and I do have my choice most days. Some days I don't get up before the sunrise, but I do have a choice to get up before the sunrise. And I do choose that because I love watching the sun come up. There's just something about it symbolizes the renewal, like it's a new day. Um, I feel blessed that I'm able to wake up and have that new day, new opportunities to take on the challenges and the things that I want to accomplish in life. And so I would, but I get up earlier than that, 4:45 in the morning. And he's like, well, but you would love it. And I'm like, well, that's where you're wrong. It may appear that I like it, but in fact, it's not the fact of waking up, because waking up like this morning, it was tough. I was up late and it was hard waking up this morning. But like you said, Carly, it's knowing the benefit of waking up that feels amazing. And it's knowing what I feel like if I don't, that keeps me consistent, keeps me disciplined. So the combination of those, how good you feel. And you may, if you get up and it's tough and, you're do a workout or ice bath or whatever your morning routine is, and it's tough, but you know what it feels like when you do it versus when you don't. And that really comes down to that confidence and that trust in yourself, right? You've got to have that trust in yourself. And if you lose that, then you just feel this, like you said, you're kind of chasing it all day, right? Really, let's see. Yeah. New days, new opportunities. Yes. Plus, I feel like the day is wasted if I ever sleep. Oh, Manda, yes, 100%. I say that all the time. Like my boys the other morning, and I let them sleep in because they're growing boys. Like I get it. One of them is an early teenager, and I remember those days. You want to sleep in and stuff, but I give them a hard time. Like they'll wake up at like 9, 10. There's been a 10 o'clock. All that stuff. It's normal. It is. But I'm like, dude, your day is half over. And they're like, no, it's not. Like, yeah. But that's how I feel too, is like if I sleep in, it definitely is. Trig Leon, what is this live about? Good question, Trig. This live is all about mindset. So that's the general topic, right? So I'm a mindset coach. I'm here to ignite your self-confidence so that you can create a better future. And we talk about mindset. And today I started talking about how you have to continuously work on your mindset. It's not like a light switch that you just flip on and say, oh, I've got a strong mindset. I can take on anything that life throws at me. No, you've got to continuously work on it. Just like building your body and having a strong body. Your mind is definitely the same. Mind, body, and soul. Those are the three main pillars of my mindset coaching framework: is mind, body, and soul. And you have to continuously work on them. So that's what we're talking about. I mean, it's kind of generic, kind of, all over the place today, Trig. So I appreciate the question, but yeah, absolutely. That's what we're talking about. Mindset, building a strong mindset. And I'm here to help you. So if you have questions or want to know any more, please let me know. Yeah, I also feel my motivation is lacking when I am off in routine as well. Yeah, 100%. And so that's one thing that I have over the past 3 years-ish, I've really tried to play with my routine as much as possible. Try to find out what works best for me. And that's what I teach my clients is just because something works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you, right? We've got to figure out what works for you. And actually, Dan Martell talks about this a lot. He talks about working on not managing time necessarily, but managing energy. So when are you most creative? Is it in the morning? Is it in the afternoon? And then that's where you should do your creative work, right? Or when are you most focused? That's when you should do your most focused work, or vice versa. You can find those energies and then mold your day around that. So that's what I've been trying to work on quite a bit lately. The last 3 years. I can say that I haven't come down to one specific routine that I like, other than my morning. My mornings are usually pretty similar, but I'm still toying with, for instance, when I'm going live, when I shoot videos, when I write scripts, or if I am going to write a script, or if I'm just going to go off the cuff, when I do my design work, when I do, different things. So the routine definitely changes depending on the day and what the tasks at hand are, but the routine in general should be the same. Cause I think we are as a species, we like routines, right? We like to know, and that's one thing, and a lot of people talk about this, but I do too. That's one thing with my mindset journal that I really try to do is I try to do this in the evening, and I plan my day tonight, right? So tonight I'll plan my day tomorrow. And the reason I do that is because I've talked to my wife about this, and I posted a video too. decision fatigue is a real thing. So if you wake up super early and you are tired and, whatever, sleepy eyed and you're trying to wake up and then you're trying to make decisions on, well, what clothes am I going to wear to go to the gym? What am I going to do? Like that decision fatigue sets in super quick. But if you can make it simple with a routine, set yourself up the night before for success the next day, then you're going to be more successful, right? V is me. What's up, V is me? What's going on? So that's one thing that I try to encourage my clients to do. Again, it doesn't work for everybody. I mean, there's plenty of times when I don't do my mindset journal at night. I do it in the morning 100%, but I do it first thing, right? Because then I'm planning my day out and then I've got a routine. I know what's expected. I know. Now, like I said, V is me. Hey, what up? How are you? We are, like I said, anything after 6:30 a.m. is not guaranteed. So I may have this perfect plan set out and then something happens and my day is derailed. I'm going to tell you, I appreciate that, V. Thanks for coming and checking in. Got any questions? How'd you find me? V is me. I'm curious. How'd you find me? But that's the thing about having a strong mindset too, is being able to take on those challenges when they do happen, being able to adapt and overcome. We talk about that a lot is speed bumps versus roadblocks. When a challenge happens or something arises that we need to, what up, Bonita? That we need to take on, we try to look at them as speed bumps. It may slow you down a little bit and you may not accomplish everything that you set out to that day. But depending on how big the challenge is, then maybe just getting through that day is the W, is the success. You're one of my friends and popped up. Oh, appreciate it. Thanks for following me. I appreciate that. And thanks for being here. This is fun. It's fun to see everybody. Come on, see some new faces today. Bonita, I'm pretty sure that I have seen you on a couple of my lives, or at least one. So thanks for coming back and rejoining. I appreciate that. Oh, V, thank you. You're awesome too. You're awesome because you're following. I appreciate you. Everybody here is awesome. Like, I'm not trying to get too like touchy-feely, butterflies, sunshine, and rainbows, because that's the other thing too, right? Mindset, people say, oh, you got such a positive mindset and this and that. And I'm like, yes, I do, because whatever your brain thinks, that is what you will see in life. I did this and you guys might have said, yes, they are. Yeah, you guys are all awesome. I appreciate every single one of you. But we think about, if you think negatively and you see the bad in things and you consistently are thinking that way, guess what you're going to find? It's the same thing on social media. This is a perfect real world example. If you are looking at the negative side of things on social media, whatever it is, and you're finding the negative side of it, you're reading the negative comments, you are following the negative posts or people that are posting negative, guess what that algorithm is going to pick up on? The negative. Vice versa, if you try to stick to at least the positive or the realist side of things, guess what you're going to find? You're going to find the positive side of things. And that is true with mindset too. If you think negatively, you're going to find negative. But if you try to think positively, or at least work on thinking positively, or finding, instead of seeing things as problems, seeing them as challenges, just reframing your mindset a little bit, it can actually help you to see the positive side of things. Because my mindset isn't always positive. I'll be honest. It's more realist, right? The situation is what it is. Because let's be honest, life sometimes sucks. And sometimes it's worse than just sucks. We're not going to use that language today, but sometimes it does. And that's the real of it. But then we've got to work on how to reframe that mindset, right? And I've done some lives and some things where we talk about the negative thoughts and things, how they're human. They're, everybody has them. You're not alone, that sort of thing, how to reframe that. But that is how it is. I use this thing and I've used it a lot. And recently I've used it really a whole lot. So if you're hearing this again, I do apologize. But we've got some new people in here on live. And I don't know if you guys have seen this or heard it, but we're going to do something real quick. Ooh, that's a good one. Consumption leads to absorption. Feed the brain with the healthier and the positive conversations. 100%. That basically is the mantra or the whole deal behind the hem in mindset. Mindset is you got to feed your mind, right? You got to feed it. Now, here's the other thing I'm going to tell you. So feeding the mind also isn't just feeding your mind with content that aligns with your goals, beliefs, your values, and all that. Now, that is important, right? Because that's the positive side of things, 100%. However, I do encourage my clients, and I encourage you as well, to also consume content from people that disagree with your beliefs and your ideals and everything, just in a way that you can better understand, right? You can better understand where they're coming from, try to empathize with them, and not only better understand your world around you, but then so that you can also listen to what they're saying and then critically think, well, they did make this point. Now I may not, agree with them, but do they make a point? Is that something that I could explore? You know what I mean? It can't just be, we don't want to just be echo chambers. We don't want to just, what's the black box? And what black mirror. We don't want to just be the black mirror, where we're reflecting. We've got to critically think about things. And that's part of that mind. So I love that where you talk about, Manda, where you say consumption leads to absorption, feed the brain with healthier and positive conversations. 100%. 100%. Trying to figure out the mind, different aspects. Yeah, absolutely. So Manda, you were not here earlier, but home with Carly, we were talking a little bit about my friend Trapper. And if you go find him, Never Quit, but it's not spelled Never Quit. But anyway, his name's Trapper. And you'll see him on a lot of my lives, or even just we'll be posting, talking. I will figure out how to tag him possibly. He's actually going to be on a podcast of mine that goes live on Friday. His whole angle on a lot of things is he calls himself the perspective expert. And so when you said that different aspects, yeah, 100%. Like, and that's one thing that we talk about all the time is him and I don't always see eye to eye, right? We have different perspectives because we're all unique. In fact, that goes into, so my why is to ignite your self-confidence so that you can create a better future. And then I have hows, like how do I do that? And one of those is spark. And the other one is you lead with your heart. And by the spark is we're all unique, right? We all have different experiences in our life. And so we need to, and we all have different things that ignite us and that have the spark and the fire inside. And then you lead with your heart, right? We all have different experiences that lead to our different perspectives, our different life experiences. And that's one thing that I try to understand and realize is come from a place of compassion, a place of caring and understanding with no judgment. That's one thing that, if you hang out with me long enough, you'll see that I don't judge. I don't judge to a certain extent, let's say. I don't like laziness, but that's because it comes from my own tendencies in my past, and laziness. I mean, I don't think I ever was lazy, but maybe lazy in my actions, if you could say. Holy cow. So Amanda, I should probably just shut up right now because you said I'm also in school for psychology. I should probably stop talking right now. No, just kidding. I love it. That's awesome. That was one class. I'm going to go off on a little bit of a tangent here, but that is one class. And now I think I took psychology in college, maybe like a, 101 level class or something. No, I appreciate it. That's awesome. But, I did take a psychology class senior year high school. Now this is going back quite a few years, but I remember we got into some different sections within the psychology and I was like, oh, this is weird. It was a little too much. So that was where my experience and my level of wanting to dive down psychology stopped. It's kind of like when you watch if anybody ever watched the show Dexter, and he's the villain, if you will. I mean, he's the main character, the protagonist, is that what you call it? But he was committing murder, but yet you felt yourself empathizing with him or, sympathizing with him. It was really strange. And I think that was an interesting psychological aspect of that show. And I think that's why it was so popular, but I don't even claim to know what I'm talking about when it comes to psychology. So, but that's fun. I love it. Let me know if you ever think I'm going off the deep end here, Amanda. I appreciate that. Oh, that's too funny. I love it. Psychology. So yeah, this has been fun. I appreciate you guys. You guys have any other questions or anything? I told myself that's really good English. I told myself that I would be on for about an hour and we're coming up close to that. I'm not leaving right now, but I I'm more than willing to stay and hang out and chat if you guys have any questions specifically about mindset. Ooh, that was one thing. I did promise it and I wanted to talk about it. So we've got some cool things coming up here that I'm working on. One of them is revision or volume 2 of the mindset journal. Yeah, I'm happy you came too, Carly. This is awesome. Volume 2 of the mindset journal will be live March 1st. And we're looking at then starting April 1st, we've got some extra kind of perks and things that are coming out that I'm really excited about to get my following and clients and everything more involved in what I'm doing, and more engaged and whatnot. So, excuse me, stick around as you kind of watch those. Some of it is maybe some I don't want to go through too much. Maybe a little bit of apparel, possibly. I mean, that's not a big stick for me. That's just a kind of something I've always wanted to do was make t-shirts. So we might do something like that. But bigger picture, we're just, maybe launching a community, bringing some people together, that sort of thing. Yeah, I'm happy you were here too, Amanda. That was awesome. Both of you. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate that. Possibly also doing something along the lines of like a book club sort of thing. Reading has been a big portion of my life. Over the last handful of years. Oh, I moved that out of the way. That was strange. But there's been a lot of books and a lot of things that I have learned from that I want to share with everybody. And there's been a couple other friends of mine that have talked about wanting to be involved in that as well. And so we might do something like that. And then we might get, have subscription levels to where you can be involved in that, both, in chat or, choosing books or this sort of thing. I mean, I definitely have a list of books that I can recommend and that we'll use. And that's part of, the 90-day mindset reset when we do the mindset journal, if you were ever to become a client of mine. And one of the things is we, to feed the mind, is we pick a book that we can read, and we read, a certain amount of pages. We usually try to pick a book that is about 300 pages so that you can read 10 a day, give or take. And because that seems to be pretty popular in the self-development realm, if you will. So we try to do that. So yeah, there's some things that we're working on that we're really trying to push. Hey, Tyson Curtis, what's going on, man? How are you? So we're working on some of those things to push to get some more engagement, some more involvement. And yeah, absolutely. So if you're interested in it, shoot me a DM with your email address. I can definitely keep you up to speed on when that stuff comes out or when it goes live. Definitely putting myself out there and making a public accountability post, if you will, by saying, March 1st, the mindset journal will be out. April 1st, we're wanting to launch some things. So that is what we're working on. But Amanda, Carly, you guys got anything else for me? You guys are here live. Might as well give you the stage if there's anything that you'd be interested in chatting about. And that hour long, I was thinking about this the other day too, is that hour long really, if it's just me, and I don't have any guests on, so to speak. Yeah, I kind of like to limit it to about that hour. That might be enough rambling from Coach Wads. Can't wait to hear more. Yeah, absolutely, Carly. I appreciate you. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate you being here. That's awesome. You're on pretty early in the mornings, right? Because you're East Coast, I believe. Yeah, I think when I get up, you're already on. But that's because you're 2 hours ahead of me. But yeah, Amanda, thank you too. Thank you for being here, both of you. I really do. Yeah, hopefully you guys have a great day too. Like I tell my son all the time when I drop him off at school, this is how we're going to end this one today. I appreciate you guys being here. But what I tell him all the time is, hey, make the day great. Make the day yours. We'll catch you next time. Thanks for being here. See ya.